Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because I had a pretty good Christmas. Got some cool gifts, got to see the family for a few days. And I hope that you guys also had a great Christmas as well, whether you celebrated it or not. If you don't, then I hope you had a great 25th. But honestly, I think what helped make my Christmas so great was the fact that I didn't spend it console warring on Twitter, unlike the people we're going to be taking a look at in today's video. And don't worry, unlike Alex's video, this will actually be talking about posts from Christmas. Yes, I threw a little bit of shade, I'm sorry. But a bunch of the posts in Alex's video were from like the 23rd. That's not Christmas. I'll have a few from Christmas Eve in here, but most of them will be on Christmas Day itself. But before we get into the salt, I really quickly want to thank today's sponsor, Ewin. Christmas is finally over. I finally get to relax, because like I said last time, I might not be the actual Santa Claus, but I still gotta put in work. You know, I gotta go around giving discounts to all the good boys and girls, which is what I'm here to do today. Now, what am I giving out a discount for? Well, you saw it in the intro, silly. Take a look. This beautiful chair that Ewin sent in for me. In fact, you know what? While I'm explaining why this chair is so great, I'm gonna have the marketable Phasmophobia plushie sitting right here. Don't worry, we resolved our differences after the last ad. It didn't go too well, as you guys saw probably. Maybe, hopefully. If you haven't, go back and watch the last video. What are you doing? But either way, I'm here to explain why you should buy this chair, because it's unironically insanely good. Much better than my old one, which I have sitting just off to the side over there. I've actually been using this one ever since I got it. So what's so great about it? Well, first of all, it's super comfortable, and if I were to, or the Phasmophobia plushie, were to accidentally spill this hot chocolate on it, we wouldn't have to worry, because the leather is super stain resistant. But not only is it super comfy, it can also hold a lot of weight, so if that's a factor for you when it comes to purchasing a nice chair, then don't worry about this. This one in particular can hold up to 400 pounds, and most of their models can hold up to 300. It's also so quiet that Delta doesn't even yell at me for its squeaking anymore. Take a listen. And then, yeah, so it's that quiet, and listen to the sound of the old one. You hear all that? Like, it's ridiculous. I can't blame Delta for complaining, honestly. But now with this new chair, he doesn't have to anymore. I'm happy, he's happy, everybody's happy. And like I mentioned earlier, what makes everybody even happier is discounts, which is why I'm happy to offer you guys one even after Christmas. Be sure to click the link in the description below to check out Ewin's site. You can browse, pick any chair that might be good for you. And then when you go to check out, use code KK552 to save 20% off. I mean, look at all the different designs they have. Surely one of these stands out to you. And if it does, then be sure to check it out. Again, link in the description. Use code KK552 when you're checking out for 20% off. Thank you so much to Ewin for sponsoring this video. And now let's get right into the salt. After, of course, I have a sip of my hot chocolate, which I can't do with the Santa beard on because I'm going to spill it everywhere. This is why I'm never growing a beard in real life, by the way. This just seems like a terrible decision. Whatever. Into the salt. Let's go. Alright, now I have to give credit to the fanboys where credit is due, because a lot of the typical suspects like J-Dub and Saltiest Gaming are actually not making an appearance. But want to know who is making an appearance? Japan Hates Xbox. In fact, he's going to be here multiple times. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Breaking, RGG Studio Director Masayoshi Yokoyama confirms Like a Dragon / Yakuza Infinite Wealth will not be coming to Game Pass. He also agrees with Larian Studios' decision to not put Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know, I feel like this Soulja Boy clip could apply to really any of the tweets that we're looking at today. Because just think about it, this is Christmas we're talking about. This is like the best time to go see family that maybe you don't get to see too often. Or friends, whoever. This is a time about being together, and instead of doing that, this guy would rather tweet about how a game isn't coming to Game Pass. Because apparently Japan hates Xbox that much. Even though I'm pretty sure the last Yakuza game that came out went to Game Pass day and date. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I remember. But whatever, just imagine having so little going on in your life that on Christmas of all days you decide to console war. And trust me, that's not the only post. The next like 4 tweets that we take a look at are gonna be from Japan Hates Xbox. And yes, all of these are on Christmas Day. I almost feel bad for these people, but almost, not quite, because ultimately they're doing this to themselves. Anyway, let's get into the next tweet. The Japanese sales for Yakuza Gaiden doubled their expectations. It's only available for PS4 and 5 in Japan. Hopefully Sony can wrestle the IP off Xbox again through a worldwide exclusivity deal in the future. At RGG Studio hates Game Pass. Shame on you, Sega, for making a deal with the devils at Microsoft. Both Atlas West and RGG Studio are suffering.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
Not until 4.
Thank you, Sandy Cheeks, although that question doesn't even do justice to the pure stupidity of these two tweets. So let me get this straight. RGG Studio hates Game Pass, and they're suffering because Sega made a deal with the devils at Microsoft. Yet the game you're talking about here, Yakuza Gaiden, launched day and date on Game Pass. Yeah, sorry bro, but Sony is not wrestling the Yakuza IP off of Xbox. And RGG Studio clearly does not hate Game Pass considering their game went day and date to the service. And yes, I know it was timed exclusive to the PlayStation in Japan. Well, guess what? The day it launched on Xbox, it launched on Game Pass. That's day and date as far as I'm concerned. But again, when he tweeted this, it was Christmas. He wasn't concerned about seeing his friends and family or anything like that. He was concerned about whether Sony would get exclusivity rights to Yakuza. I swear to God, this is like a mental illness. I'm not even kidding when I say that. You know how they say some stuff is fine as long as you don't let it bleed over into your actual life or like don't let it take over? Like video games, for example. If it gets to the point where you're skipping out on day-to-day life just to play them, at that point it's like an addiction and it's just not healthy. It's the same thing here. Like if the console wars take priority over Christmas for you, there's actually something wrong with you. And I don't care if these guys are trolling or if they're being serious. Because if they're being serious, that means the console war is taking priority over their actual lives. And if they're trolling, that means them trolling on social media takes priority over their actual lives. It's not healthy either way. I'm no psychiatrist, but I think it's safe to say that this is not good for you. But we're not done yet. Let's keep going. So he quote tweets a tweet from Christmas Eve where he says that, oh, you shouldn't waste your money on Xbox because it's on discount right now. And he says, a base model PS4 is probably worth more than your Series X right now. Really feel sorry for Series X owners right now. Damn, you all got swindled hard. I don't even have a meme for this anymore. It's just... Jesus Christ, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but imagine having so little going on in your life that on Christmas, a time of being together and embracing one another, your friends and family, oh look, we're all together, it's so nice. You spend your time saying, no, this plastic box is worth more and is better than this plastic box. Stuff like this actually saddens me to an extent. Like, if I ever have a Christmas in the future where I'm not off seeing people and instead I spend my day console warring, you have permission to kick me in the nuts. Honestly, I would probably rather have that happen at this point than continue to read these tweets. But alas, we continue on. Now, this last one is less so Japan hates Xbox because it's him just quote tweeting something else. We're mainly focusing on what he actually quote tweeted, and that is, Merry Christmas to absolutely everyone except the disgusting Xbox community. I actually can't even anymore. I actually cannot. Congratulations, you broke my will to continue making this video. We're gonna do the outro right now. I'm kidding. This dude really woke up on Christmas, made an AI generated image of a child getting Redfall for Christmas, which, by the way, that's a very accurate reaction to getting Redfall. Can't really blame him for crying. And then posted it with a tweet saying, Merry Christmas to everybody except the Xbox community because they're disgusting. Wow. That's really all I can say at this point is just wow. These guys really have the communities that they claim to hate on their minds all the time. It's pretty wild when you think about it. But want to know what's even more wild? Making tweets warring about games that haven't even come out yet on Christmas Eve. Let's take a look. It's the truth and you all know it. And then it's a meme that shows Blade by Arcane is in a grave and Wolverine by Insomniac is posing next to it.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
So not only are we console warring on Christmas Eve, but now we're console warring over 2 games that haven't come out yet. We have gotten teasers for both of the games, and that is it. We don't even have release dates for these games, and people are already console warring over them. Unleashed, I think you really need to change your name to Unhinged. That's like the only way I can describe you. Console warring over games that we don't even know the date of, let alone how they're actually gonna turn out, on Christmas Eve. I mean, that is just wild. But you wanna know what's more wild than console warring over games that haven't come out yet? Poor shaming people. That's right, everybody. We all love a good old-fashioned poor shamer. We've talked about Black Bond, we've talked about Quantum TV, and now Unleashed is being added to the list of poor shamers. Because once again, on Christmas Eve, the same day as that other tweet, he tweets out, Xbox is for bums who cannot afford video games. I mean, I genuinely cannot imagine being so pathetic that not only would I console war on Christmas Eve, but I would poor shame. Like, forget about poor shaming in general, you're really gonna do it on Christmas Eve? What is wrong with you? In fact, you know what? No, Snoop Dogg, take it away.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
Like, I need to understand why people do the things that they do. It's like the clip from Inside Out. Do you ever look at somebody and wonder what is going on inside their head? That is me every single time I do one of these videos. Like, who just sits down and thinks, yeah, you know what? It's Christmas Eve, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tweet about the console wars all day, and let's throw a bit of poor shaming in there just cause why not? The worst part with these tweets is that you can't even tell if they're sarcastic a lot of the time. Or at least I can. Maybe there's somebody much smarter than me out there who can just tell if these people are being sarcastic or not. And God, I hope they are, because to think that a grown adult could be saying these things and unironically acting this way is just wild. Especially when you consider the fact that his tweeting did not stop on Christmas itself. Those last 2 we took a look at were Christmas Eve, and now he's out here posting on Christmas. Kids be like, and then it's the old Drake meme, and then he's saying no to Xbox and yes to PlayStation. God, just why? Why? Why
are you the way that you are?
I don't even have commentary anymore. Just why? Why? That's literally all I have to say. I'm just out of things to say at this point. At least when it comes to the PlayStation fanboys, because you guys didn't think you were getting away without some Xbox salt, did you? No, of course not. Not for Christmas. And these weren't out on Christmas, but they were out on Christmas Eve, so you know what? Close enough. Look, do you want Xbox salt or not? It doesn't happen very often, and a lot of people complain about it. Well, here you go. These next 2 tweets are for you. Call of Duty alone makes more money than all of PlayStation Studio games combined. This is why I say PlayStation Studios can't compete with Xbox Studios. You know what, Peter? I'm very glad to see that on Christmas Eve, instead of preparing for the big holiday, maybe preparing a dinner, because that's what we do at my house. We host a dinner and a bunch of our friends come over. It's a lot of fun. You know, instead of doing any of that, you're making tweets about whether or not Microsoft is going to make more money than Sony. I'm really glad to see that this is what you care about. I bet he was thinking, you know what? I gotta say all this stuff right now, so that way I have nothing to tweet on Christmas, so that way I don't look absolutely pathetic. Well, guess what? It didn't work. You still look like a clown either way. And it doesn't help that this wasn't the only tweet that you made on Christmas Eve, because we have another one to take a look at. From the Insomniac leaks, the average playtime of a PlayStation exclusive is around 10 hours. Meanwhile, the average playtime of a Starfield player is 40 hours. Starfield has higher average playtime. This comparison doesn't even make sense. You're trying to compare the average playtime of all PlayStation exclusives to the average playtime of one Xbox exclusive. And even putting that aside, just who cares? Does Starfield having a higher average playtime than all PlayStation exclusives combined mean so much to you that you had to tweet this out on Christmas Eve? Again, I say, just why? I honestly think my brain fell out. So really quick, I'm gonna go look for it. But before I do go look for it, I just want to quickly say thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a Happy New Year. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.